Honeybees and other bees are really important to our agricultural system. And bees are really having a hard time. A lot of bee species are declining. And one of the primary things that researchers and beekeepers can all agree on is that the health of the honeybees is really dependent on how good of food that they're getting. And so one of the things that we can do to increase our pollinator health is put forage back on the landscape, to put food back on the landscape. So what this project helps do is giving people that are interested in planting for pollinators a path forward and giving them practical steps to implement putting more flowers on the landscape.
Farmers and landowners are really looking for solutions to some of these environmental problems and looking for ways that they can best use their land for both agricultural production and wildlife habitat and other ecosystem services. So what the Minnesota Agriculture for Pollinators Project is aiming to do is to really get at what makes a restoration most successful. Is it plant seed mix? Is it the size of the plot? Or is it really some of these landscape context questions that make for a really strong, robust habitat that attracts wildlife, pollinators, while also providing some pest control services for neighboring crop systems.
The reason we're doing this research is that in Minnesota, about a third of the state used to be covered in native prairies, and now only 1% of those prairies are left. Bees have been using prairies for their three requirements, which is food, shelter, and fresh, clean water. And so when there's fewer prairies, there's fewer of those resources for bees. Here in Minnesota, a lot of those lands have been converted to agriculture. So what we're trying to do is figure out how to put habitat back into the landscape.
Oh, there's the queen. So we were out in southwestern Minnesota working on 39 different locations with farmers, with landowners to put pollinator habitat on the landscape and then measuring the benefits of that pollinator habitat to both native bees and to honeybees.
So we're working in southwest Minnesota because of this larger landscape being so dominated by agriculture, and private land is probably the largest opportunity to create more habitat because most of our land is privately owned. And so the best way to do that is get private landowners involved in the research and invested in the results of that research so that then they can become ambassadors to their neighbors and friends.
So enlisting the help of farmers and landowners is really key to this project. Our work won't succeed unless we work very closely and listen to what they have to say and incorporate their ideas, and they're incredibly valuable and key to bee conservation.
We're in a beginning stage of a new era out here in the whole industry of agriculture community getting along in the university right now that we never seen in the last 30 years. I want to leave an impression of starting something in my lifetime here, and I thought working with the University of Minnesota with bees would be a good start.
So much of what we hope to gain from this is not only learning from folks who know the land really well, but also providing them the tools and the data-driven recommendations to make their land super productive, to make their land a really diverse place for wildlife. This research especially has incredible potential for influencing how we do land management statewide, and it's been really, really cool to see it in play in a very special part of the state.
This is an opportunity for everybody to benefit from all good that's taking place out here. And I'm hoping that the university will do enough research to find the hot spot to put these plots to help. And this is something that'll last a legacy.